Living with Jungkook has been quite an interesting experience. Your parents, who are close friends, decided it would be a good idea for you both to live together while you both study in the same city. Despite their hopes that you both would get along, Jungkook has always been distant and reserved. His cold demeanor and stubborn attitude have made it challenging to connect with him. And you had crush on Jungkook, you haven't mustered the courage to confess your feelings yet. One evening, after another quiet day of barely exchanging words, you decided to share your plans for the night. Hey Jungkook, you said, walking over to where he was sitting. I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to a party with some friends tonight. Jungkook barely glanced up from his book. Okay, he replied simply before turning back to his book. You lingered for a moment, hoping for more of a reaction, but none came. It was frustrating how distant he always seemed, especially since your feelings for him had only grown stronger over time. But you didn't want to push him, you valued his friendship, even if it was somewhat cold. As you turned to leave, you couldn't help but feel a bit disheartened. You had hoped that maybe he would show some interest, ask a question, or even show a hint of jealousy. Instead, his indifference was like a wall you couldn't break through. The party was in full swing, and you were having a great time with your friends. The music was loud, the drinks were glowing, and for a while you managed to push thoughts of Jungkook out of your mind. You drank more than you usually would, caught up in the excitement of the night. It was getting late when you felt your phone vibrating in your pocket. You pulled it out, squinting at the screen to see Jungkook's name flashing. Confused, you answered. Hello, you said, trying to sound steady. Where are you? It's late and you are not home. I am at the pub with my friends. You replied, the noise of the party making it hard to hear him clearly. Are you drunk? He asked, and you could hear the concern in his voice. Yes, you admitted. There was a brief silence before he said, Stay there, I'm coming to pick you up. Before you could protest, he hung up. You felt surprised because he was coming to get you. A short while later, you saw Jungkook walking through the crowd. He spotted you and quickly made his way over. Let's go, he said, and he helped you up. You stumbled a bit and he steadied you with a hand on your arm. The cool night air was a stark contrast to the warmth of pub, and it helped clear your head a little. Jungkook opened the passenger door for you and you got in, leaning back against the seat. The drive home was quiet. You glanced at Jungkook, his profile illuminated by the passing streetlights. He looked focused, his jaw set in a determined line. Why did you come to get me? You asked. Because you were drunk and alone, he replied without looking at you. I couldn't just leave you there. His words made your heart swell. Maybe he did care, even if he didn't show it often. After arriving back at your apartment, Jungkook guided you to the couch. His grip gently at firm. You sank into the cushions, feeling the effect of alcohol starting to wear off, but still a bit unsteady. Jungkook disappeared into the kitchen and returned with a glass of water. Here, drink this. He said, holding the glass out to you. You shook your head, pushing the glass away. I don't want any water. He frowned. Come on, drink it. You sighed, seeing the resolve in his eyes. Reluctantly, you took the glass for him and took a few sips. The cool water was refreshing, and you realized he was right. It did made you feel a bit better. Thank you said quietly, handing the glass back to him. He nodded, setting the glass on the table. Before sitting down next to you, you started talking non-stop. The combination of alcohol and the emotions you had been holding back for so long created a whirlwind of honesty. Jungkook, it really bothers me when you talk so coldly to me. I never know what you are thinking, and it hurts. He looked up at you, surprise evident in his eyes. What? You continued, ignoring his response. I have been trying so hard to get close to you, but it's like there is this wall, and it feels so lonely sometimes, living with you but not really being with you. Jungkook opened his mouth to say something, but you didn't give him a chance. And I can't keep it anymore. I have to tell you, I love you, Jungkook. I love you so much. He froze, his eyes wide with shock. You are drunk. We can talk about this tomorrow. No, you insisted, shaking your head with a pout. I'm telling the truth. I love you. I really do. After your heartfelt confession, Jungkook sat in silence for a moment. Finally, he sighed and stood up. Let's talk about this tomorrow when you are feeling better. You need to rest now. Saying that, he helped you to stand and guided you to your room. He led you to your bed and you sat down heavily, your mind still buzzing with the alcohol. He pulled the covers back and helped you lie down, then gently tucked the blanket around you. You looked up at him, your eyes heavy with sleep. As you started to drift off to sleep, your emotions and thoughts surfaced once more, blending with the haze of half-consciousness. You reached out and grabbed Jungkook's hand, holding it tightly. Jungkook, I really love you. Why have you always been so cold to me? You mumbled in half sleep. Jungkook's heart ached at your words. He looked down at you, seeing the sincerity in your sleepy eyes. He gently squeezed your hand, feeling a rush of affection. I love you too, Ryan. I have slowly fallen for you because of the way you care about me. But I am too scared to show my feelings to you. But I will tell you everything tomorrow. He watched you for a moment longer, his heart full of unspoken words. Good night, Ryan. With a final tender look, he turned off the light and quietly left your room. He walked back to his room. Tomorrow, I will tell her everything. I will make sure she knows how much she means to me. And he slowly drifted off to sleep. Next morning, waking up with a heavy head, you recall the events of last night. The memories flooded back, and with them came a rush of embarrassment. Confessing your feelings to Jungkook had been a moment of vulnerability, and now you couldn't help but feel awkward about facing him. After freshening up, you made your way downstairs. As you entered the kitchen, you found Jungkook busy preparing breakfast. He saw you coming and said, "Good morning." He greeted, his voice calm and casual, as if nothing had happened. "Morning," you replied, trying to keep your tone steady despite the butterflies in your stomach. You stood there unsure of what to say or do next. Should I bring up last night, or should I pretend like nothing happened? Jungkook turned around, catching the sight of you standing. You both stared at each other in silence. Then, to your surprise, he smiled, a genuine warm smile that reached his eyes. "I made breakfast. Come, sit," he said, gesturing to the table. You hesitated for a moment, taken aback by his unexpected reaction, but something in his smile put you at ease, and you found yourself walking over to the table and taking a seat. You both had breakfast together without a word. After breakfast, as you both cleared the table together, you finally worked up the courage to speak. "Jungkook, about last night, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry if I made things awkward, but I really mean it what I said. I love you." He looked at you, his gaze softening while looking at you. "I know," he said simply, "and I'm sorry too." Surprised, you blinked, not expecting him to apologize. "Sorry? For what?" "For being so stubborn and distant all this time. I didn't know how to show you how I felt, so I pushed you away instead." Your heart skipped a bit at his confession. You love me too?" You asked, daring to believe it. He nodded, his smile widening. "Yeah, I do. I have been in love with you for a long time, but I was too scared to admit it." Tears welled up in your eyes with joy. "I can't believe it. You love me?" He reached out and took your hands in his touch warm. "I do, and I promise I will never be distant or cold to you again. From now on, I will show you how much you mean to me every day." You smiled through your tears. "I love you, Ryan. I really mean it." He leaned in and pressed a gentle kiss to your forehead. "I love you too, Jungkook."